George Foreman is hungry to fight again, and only HBO's got him. Call now and see him step back into the ring to devour his next opponent. Saturday, December 7th, live only on HBO.
Call now to get HBO installed in time to see this exclusive heavyweight bout.
I want to fight again so bad. I can taste it.
To finish for games. Lefty Frank Viola went gunning for his second victory of the season. Let us go north of the border to see how it came out. The Mets wondering how do we hit this guy? Meaning Chris Nabholz, the young lefty. Early on, they didn't. In the fifth, Tim Temple appears to have a base hit, but Spike Owen comes from out of nowhere and robs him. Tied at 1 in the 8th, though. This is the key moment in the ball game. Mets have 2 on, 2 out. Greg Jeffries mired in a 6-for-40 slump, 7-for-41. Double down the left field line. Tommy here scores. Kevin Elster scores, and the Mets win it by a score of 3-1 as Frank Viola beats the Montreal Expos for the second time in 6 days. And a reminder that the Mets and the Expos play live on ESPN tomorrow night. Our Sunday night game of the week, 2 of the best leadoff men in baseball, Vince Coleman of the Mets, Delino DeShields of the Expos. You'll see it 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific time right here.
Dion coming up in this spot and follows with another pinch hit home run, and the Mets have tied at 4-4 in the bottom of the 9th inning. The game continued on until the bottom of the 12th inning with 2 out, and Cerrone, the runner at first base. Howard Johnson works the count to 3 balls and 1 strike. And Mike Lacoste, the pitcher in the ball game, is on the mound, and this is the way the Mets won it as Howard Johnson puts it over the right field fence, his 5th home run of the year, and the Mets win it by a score of 6-4. Howard Johnson, who has so many times won the ball game in extra innings and in the late innings of a ball game with a 2-run home run, and the Mets now won the first 2 games of this 3-game set. And we'll be back with the scoreboard right after this message from Mitsubishi.
Work in. But yo, Billy's not afraid to get dirty. Get down, guys. Okay, fellas, time to go to work. Wednesday at 8 on TNT. Bigger than life.
USA. Starting Saturday, live at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific.
Don't miss the kick.
Base hit, he came.
Like Upper Deck.
Our stat of the week starts with last year's remarkable season by Cecil Fielder.
Fielder hits it deep. McGee is back, grand slam.
1-2 pitch. High in the air and deep in left center field. It is gone. Long drive, deep left field. That's it. On the roof, home run for Cecil.
The set, the pitch. There's a long fly ball to left down the line. It's a fair ball. Home run number 50 for Cecil Fielder.
A guy like Fielder can carry a team or be a team.
Nevada. It's a we can't get along, let's get it on battle as Mike Tyson takes on Razor Ruddock. Now the bout is set for 12 rounds, but many feel it will not go the distance. Both fighters pack power, and along with all the bad blood, it could be a demolition derby. Now, this is some highlights of Tyson working out. Let's talk about Donovan Razor Ruddock. He's got a distinct size advantage, 3.5 inches taller than Mike. He also has an 11-inch reach advantage. Now, Ruddock, 25-1-1 in his career, tipped the scales at 228 pounds. Tyson is 2-0 since his loss to Buster Douglas. He's 39-1 overall. Iron Mike weighed in at 217 pounds. He has been tabbed as a 4.5-to-1 favorite over Ruddock. The fight is on pay-per-view this evening. The winner is in line for a shot at the winner of the Evander Holyfield-George Foreman fight. A report out of Kansas City says Bo Jackson may be advised not to play any athletics for the next 9 months to 1 year. The Kansas City Royals have not confirmed this, but it appears the injury Jackson suffered in the NFL playoffs is serious and may end his 2-sport participation. Jackson and his LA Raiders were on their way to victory against Cincinnati when Bo went down on this play. It was first reported as a hip pointer, but since then reports have surfaced that the hip bone was pulled from its socket, and it is one of those injuries where it's very difficult to heal, and Bo still being on crutches is testimony to that. Jackson is undergoing 2.5 hours daily of aerobic exercise along with his rehabilitation. You know, just about all the teams in the NHL make the
Royal spring training site today as Bo Jackson cleaned out his locker
and said his goodbyes. The Royals released Bo because they're convinced his playing days are over, but Jackson remains upbeat that he'll recover from a serious hip injury and play another day. He doesn't dwell on the past, looks ahead.
Believe me, when I tell you that I'll be back, I'll be back. And when I do come back, it's going to be a perfect
might last a little longer if I could hurt him and put him out.
Mike Tyson's controversial 7th-round TKO victory over Rheaume last night in Las Vegas. When referee Richard Steele stopped the fight, Ruddock was still standing and appeared ready to continue. There was a mini riot in the ring when the fight was stopped. Steele needed an escort to get out safely. Little doubt Tyson would have won, but it left a bitter taste.
And I could see why my promoter and my manager was so skeptical about having Richard Steele in there as a referee. And I'd like to see a rematch. I'd like to see a rematch with Mike Tyson because he's a gladiator and so am I, and we're going to do it again.
You're not second guessing what you did at all.
No, he was done. He was going to get hurt. I don't want to count him out when he's flat on his back. Let him fight again. I stopped it in time enough that it can be a rematch.
And that's
so
the way
let
it should
be a
be, right?
rematch. That's right. Let it be a rematch.
Anyone that saw the fight and there's a fighter, he wasn't going to last the round. I don't know how many seconds was left in a round, but he wasn't going to last the round.
I was in the fight. I knew exactly where I was. He knocked me down. I knew where I was. I got back up. I fought. You know, this is a heavyweight fight. You get hit and you go down. You get back up. You fight.
Well, it was a tough call. Ruddock was finished, just a question of when. Last night's fight almost guarantees a rematch between these two. Evander Holyfield may be the real loser. He'll have to wait a while longer to fight. Not the most accomplished. Bo cleaned out his spring training locker today at the Royals complex, vowed to play baseball again, and the man released yesterday by the Royals shed some tears before he said goodbye.
The tears that I have and the sadness that I have, it's not because the Royals let me go. I knew that it was going to happen someday. I didn't think that I would finish my career with the Royals. That's not my plan. The tears are because I'm leaving so many good friends.
Well, I think Bo will be back.
Won it 3-2 over the Montreal. Here's another opportunity. McGillney worked it through. Here's Andrechuk. Andrechuk flipped it right in by Rasico. We'll watch it again from the low-level camera. And the Sabres win it in overtime. So in the season series now, the Canadians have won 4, Buffalo 1-2, and they have tied 2. And Andrechuk, he gets his 14th power play goal. And he has 12 goals in his last 14 games.
Company and chosen by members of the sports media. The third star of the Sabres, Kevin Haller. The second star, the Canadians, Andre Rasico. Third star with the overtime goal, the Sabres, Dave Andrechuk.
Oh, yeah. There they are, the 3 stars in tonight's game here at Memorial Auditorium. And the Buffalo Sabres defeating the Montreal Canadiens 3-2 in overtime. You're watching Sabres hockey on the Empire Sports Network.
1, 2, 3, dig, Emmett Smith. Oh, yeah. Taylor to the pass. See ya later. What a goal. He gassed. Go out. Nice head. Nice head.
See if we can get you guys excited together.
Here comes a rush. He looks, he airs it out.
The NFL experience. Live it. This message furnished by the National Football League.
20-year-old Manon Rheaume will be the first woman to play in one of the 4 major pro sports leagues. Rheaume led the Canadian Women's Championship a year ago.
The first time I have this kind of shot, this kind of speed, and it's why I have a lot of pressure this first time because I have to do good.
Now, you may remember
on Saturday which sport he will choose as a full-time Braves. Right now, he's an unsigned member of the Braves. He has tons of baseball potential, but never really has put up big numbers in the major leagues. Or will it be football? He was voted to the Pro Bowl this year, and he's one of the primetime performers in the NFL. We will find out on Saturday.
Early tomorrow morning, and I do mean early Friday morning. Join us here on ESPN for the liftoff from Akron. Tune in around 4 a.m. Eastern Time for live coverage of the...
From the mound for the first time today since shoulder surgery last September. And the good news is no pain. Gooden threw for about 5 minutes today. Will throw again on Saturday.
First time felt great. Felt good. You know, the first couple pitches felt a little uncomfortable. You know, been a while getting on the mound, but after that, everything felt, you know, real good.
And Denver Broncos quarterback John Elway underwent right shoulder surgery today in Los Angeles. Elway will need about 6 weeks to recover from the surgery before he starts rehab to correct a bone abnormality.
NHL. The season. The Sabres. The puck drops here.
Live from the Odd in Buffalo, among the NFL's mightiest warriors, the fastest, the strongest, and the toughest. A rendezvous with cool. The NFL Pro Bowl, Sunday night, live on ESPN.
Sabres scored. Howard Chuck in the corner to LaFontaine to Mogilny, number 64. It was 1-0 Sabres in the first and the second, 1-1. Brad May along the boards behind the net to LaFontaine to Mogilny, number 65. That turned out to be the winner. Now, Kimu Solani, the rookie, had a breakaway in the second period. Watch Fuhr put the glove out and say, "I got it." Yes, sir. He made 22 saves. And then, in addition to the hockey game, the fight. Oh, yes, you knew that Ty Domi and Rob Ray were going to go. I don't know why they permit this, but they do, and they went. And, you know, really after, as you will hear in a moment, John Muckler made very light of it. But first, let's hear from Rob Ray on his battle last night with the Ty guy.
Well, it was going to happen because after last game, and he had something to prove, and he was talking garbage the whole game. So, you know, Muck just waited for the perfect time and let it happen. You know, Muck's pretty good that way, and he knows when to do it and when not to, so he just let me go, and we had to show him again.
Yeah, he was great, wasn't he? That was a great fight. It was just not a detraction. Thought we'd throw in there late in the game.
Natural hat trick. There he is, number 89, doing fine. Beautiful pass put on his blade by Pat LaFontaine, who had 5 assists and a goal in the game. That was number 51 for Alex. It made it 1-1, and then off Housley's stick and into the net. The Sabres led 2-1 on the first period power play. A little water and back to work in the second period off his own rebound. The natural hat trick goal for Mogilny made it 3-1. In the third, the pass that he fired went off Pat LaFontaine. Watch it coming up here, and he wound up with the puck on his stick again, and the top hat trick, his 54th of the season. 2 more to tie Danny Gare. It was 6-2 Sabres. What about it, Alexander?
Fontaine and Alexander Mogilny combined for 11 points in the Sabres 6-2 win. Now, Mogilny, you know, about 4 goals included in natural hat trick, but his co-conspirator, Pat LaFontaine, 1 goal, 5 assists, and hit the 100-point mark. Arriving home today, LaFontaine admitted there was something in the air last night.
It was fun. Like I said, for us, we took a tough loss in Ottawa, and we wanted to bounce back strong, and everybody played well. It was a total team effort, and it was nice to come back here with a victory.
At 100 points for the season, only 3 other Sabres have ever hit that mark in club history. 3-time AFC.
That makes no mistake, right up top on the roof. I was kidding him this morning. I said, "You're going to get a few breakaways." He said, "Yeah, I wish there was no red line." I'm glad there isn't, though. There'll be a lot more of that.
And adding in colors. Stevens' first shot.
on Joseph. And he scores. 1-0 Scott Stevens. Brendan Shanahan's first shot. And he scores. 1-1. Both players missed their next shots. Stevens, third shot now. Save Grant Fuhr, still 1-1. Shanahan's third shot against Joseph. And he scores, and it's 2-1 Brendan Shanahan. Stevens' final shot, he has to score. Great save, Grant Fuhr. Shanahan already clinching it. He has one shot again for goalie averages. And 3 for 4 for Brendan Shanahan. 3-1. He beats Scott Stevens.
More active in their puck handling department than the first two goalies were with Rheaume, and there is Mr. Fuhr.
Now this
Guess
guy,
what?
this guy's a showman. He's an acrobat. He's going to be out there giving his best.
You know the story I like about Grant? Brand new pads, brand new gloves. He says, that doesn't bother me. I just go out and play. And he does that during the season as well. And that's hard to do if you're all you young goaltenders. You know how hard it is to move with brand new equipment on. It doesn't bother Fuhr at all.
United States in red and Western Canada wearing their very distinctive yellow uniforms. Kevin Pollock will be the referee in this game. Ron Hogarth did the first, will do the third, but I think 3 games in one night, a little too much.
All-time career goal score, but it was an ugly game. Let me take you to Scope. Second period action. Admirals on the power play. Rod Taylor feeds Rick Kowalski. Kowalski fires and finds the back of the net. The Admirals take a commanding lead at 6-1 when Erie sends in the Goon Squad. David St. Pierre was double-teamed behind the Erie net in retaliation. Aaron Downey got the best of this Panther at center ice. Penalty minutes were handed out overwhelmingly against the Admirals, and then Coach John Brophy gets a little angry. His verbal disagreement got him kicked out of the game. 8 players were ejected. 212 penalty minutes were handed out. Ho-ho, is Brof mad. Back to hockey. Steve Richards will score for the Admirals. There were 100 shots on goal. Rod Taylor passes Brian Martin with 172 career goals. Went to a fight in the hockey.
Leaves the net and joins a teammate pounding David St. Pierre, who sustained a nasty cut on his face. The Erie goalie got off with just a 2-minute penalty, and justifiably, Admirals coach John Brophy was fuming. He was ejected from the game. As far as this game was concerned, it was kind of a sidelight here. Rod Taylor did have the hat trick tonight. That is Jeff Kostick making it 7-2. I should say Rod Taylor had 4 goals tonight. Then John Van Kessel with a great feed to Steve Richards to make it 8-2. 9-4 the final in a melee tonight at Scope. 287 penalty minutes. Oh my gosh, we haven't heard the last of that one.
You gave us a try, now hit subscribe. Be sure to YouTube responsibly and hit that like button if you like what you see, because there's plenty of content to come.